Hello and welcome to the next installment of our Saratech Enablement series. My name is Andrea Hall and I am the Customer Relationship Manager here at Saratech, and I will be your host today. Presenting today we have my friend Daniel Rubio, and he is an applications engineer here at Saratech, and he will be talking today about SimCenter 3D value-based licensing. Next slide. First, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Saratech Enablement series that we've had such great success with. We usually run about 30 to 45 minutes, and we always cover many topics such as VMAP, NX, Solid Edge, Teamcenter, and much more. We usually go the first and third Thursday of each month around 11 a.m. Pacific time, and our sessions are always led by subject matter experts, developers, power users, and much more. And as always, we look forward to you participating in the training. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to type them in the chat box over to the right, and I will kindly interrupt Dan and just let him know about your question or comment. So please feel free to participate during the actual training session. And with that, I'm going to pass this along to Dan.
Thanks, Andrea. So this will be a, relatively short meeting. Just wanted to give a lot of you this new information that you may not have heard of yet. So Siemens has this new umbrella, if you will, that's called the SimCenter portfolio for predictive engineering analytics. So basically a ton of different analysis programs for many different types of simulation and analysis. So just over a year ago, August 5th of last year, they kind of did this rebranding, and it is really, as you can see here, the next generation 3D CAE solution. And it's based on the good same old NX platform, formerly known as Advanced Simulation, or NXCAE, and then NX Nastran is the solver in the background there. But also LMS Virtual Lab, AMSM, many other analysis programs that Siemens has acquired. Saratech is another one. So again, this is all just encompassed in this new SimCenter umbrella that Siemens has organized. So what I wanted to talk about today is give you this introduction, or just let you know that Siemens has this new value-based licensing scheme. So instead of the traditional permanent or perpetual-based license where you just buy a license for some set costs, 5, 10, 20 K, whatever it is that you're buying, and you own it basically forever. You also have some leasing options, subscriptions in the background as well, but now you have tokens, if you will, or this value-based licensing. So why did they come up with this? Well, the motivation is we really want to give all of you customers access to all these advanced engineering tools. So it's a very cost-effective way for you to get access to all these different solvers and solution types that would typically be very, very expensive. So what is this value-based licensing I'm talking about? It is, again, a new method, and you can also refer to them as tokens. And some other software programs have similar licensing methods that you may have heard of or may even be familiar with already. So the good news is that it's very familiar, so there wouldn't be any crazy changes on the user's perspective, or even on the licensing, whether you have your own IT department that handles all that, or just the users themselves. So it still operates using the same FlexLM license manager as your traditional module-based SimCenter licenses. So with this new tokens, what you're going to have is basically a mix. So you'll have a base application such as SimCenter Engineering Desktop or the structures, or you can have those as add-ons as well if you already have the CAD environments. And once you have that base application, you'll apply these tokens to give you access to all of the add-ons, basically. So why did they come up with this value-based licensing? Again, the main reason is to give you flexibility, give you access to all of these advanced simulation different types without having to buy them outright at a much higher price. So one of the great use cases or reasons that you would want this is, let's say you have different projects. So if your company has a lot of project-based analyses, such as, for 2 months you might have a lot of dynamic analyses to run, and then a few months later you might have some flow analysis to run. So this value-based licensing scheme really lets you accommodate for those different peaks and valleys in your workflow. So how does it work? Again, like I said before, you have a base application, whether it's the SimCenter structures or the desktop, depending on if you have the CAD environment already. And then you can add all of these different add-ons using the same module-based perpetual licenses or these new tokens. And how do they work? Well, they're checked out basically the same as the perpetual licenses. So let's say you open up SimCenter 3D, it'll pull one of those module-based licenses. Let's say you have 3 of those licenses and you already have 3 other users with that SimCenter 3D open. Well, of course, it's not going to let you open a 4th one since you only have 3. So you'll get an error message, and then you could either, give that guy a shout, hey, I need to open SimCenter. And if he's nice enough, he'll close it out for you and let you open it. Or you can use tokens. So you can, depending on the package you're trying to open, let's say, it requires, 40 tokens, and you have 80 available, well, fine, it'll open for you, no problem. Or if you don't have enough, it'll again give you that similar error with a perpetual license. Each add-on has a predefined number of tokens that it requires. So very simple example is, if you're in an arcade or something, every game basically requires a number of tokens. Some of the higher end games are more expensive. Same exact idea here. You have different packages, thermal flow, motion, and so on, and they all are valued at different ranges. So with SimCenter 11, the latest release of NX and SimCenter, you have these packs that you can purchase. So the base product would be a pack of 100 tokens, and then you can also add a pack of 50 instead. So again, some of the lower end add-ons may only require 40 or 60, so you may not need to go in increments of 100. So you also have the option to go in increments of 50. The nice thing about this new value-based licensing is that you can purchase these perpetually on a subscription or even on a rental basis. So just like you already do with your permanent licenses right now. So again, very similar processes for these new tokens. So one very important key here is we're talking about SimCenter 3D tokens. It does not apply to all products under the larger SimCenter portfolio I talked about earlier. Again, that encompasses the SimCenter 3D family that we're talking about right now, but also Star CCM Plus, all of the LMS products like ImagineLab, Amasim, Saratech, and so on, and all those other products. So as you can see here on this slide, most of the SimCenter 3D or NX Nastran, which also falls in that same category, can be run with SimCenter 3D tokens. So the Nastran solver, you also have access to use other solvers like ANSYS, Abacus, Atlas Dyna, and so on. You have the thermal and flow, CFD type solvers that you can run, electronic systems cooling, space systems thermal, all of those. You have acoustics, flow, laminates, durability, dynamics, motion, and so on, as you can see here. So in summary, you can see 54 or so applications within SimCenter 3D and NX Nastran that can take advantage of this new value-based licensing scheme. So there's only very few exceptions, basically, is what I'm getting at. So one of the more important questions now is, how does it apply to you, or how do you know if you need it? Well, unfortunately, there's no hard, fast rule. In general, it will make sense. It will be cost effective when you have multiple users, and not necessarily, it doesn't need to be 5, 10, 20. It can be just a couple. But if they need to use more than one application, that's when it starts making sense. So if you have many different products, like I was saying before, if you have different projects that might need thermal 1 month, dynamics another month, motion, and so on, that's when tokens start to make sense. But if you only have, let's say a few users and they're, all day, every day, they're just running, linear statics or dynamics or some set analysis type, then it won't really make sense, because if they're just using it full time, then you might as well just have that permanent license. But if they're kind of picking and choosing, going in and out of different analysis types, this new value-based licensing will save you a lot of money. So here's just a very simple process on how you can start to estimate the number of tokens that you might need, or even if it will make sense at all. So what you can do is estimate your peak usage requirements. So there are some third-party programs that help you monitor your FlexLM licenses, or you can even just open up LM Tools, and we can of course help you with all this. But if you open up LM Tools or the server log file, you can see, hey, Joe is checking this out, 6 times a day, and maybe Bob was rejected a license because there weren't enough in the pool available. So that's the kind of peak usage that you can start taking a look at. You can get that information to us, of course, your account manager, and we can try to figure out what packages might be best for your situation. And one important thing is you can't forget to consider your future requirements. So like I was saying before, you might have a project right now that's mostly dynamics, but a few months from now, if you are expecting a big project to come in that might need some other type, let's say flow or thermal, you don't want to forget that, to be able to have those tokens already set aside in your pool so you can immediately start accessing those programs. Now let's wrap up with a very nice graphic here that I want to show that gives you a different view on how this whole value-based licensing works.
The traditional approach to software licensing offers good value for departments in which users perform a given set of tasks to solve recurring issues. Typically, a platform is complemented with one or a few applications that cover static functionalities. To deal with the challenges of a rapidly changing development environment, we are introducing value-based licensing. This alternative approach facilitates the discovery of new applications and increases flexibility when it comes to capacity planning for multiple users. Depending on the specific situation, a mix and match of the traditional way of licensing and value-based licensing should be tailored to find the optimal balance. Let's have a look at how value-based licensing exactly works. Starting from the required desktop module, it offers a fully flexible environment in which users can explore different functionalities. Companies acquire a set of tokens which allow the running of a wide array of applications, each covering a specific need. Based upon the value of a certain individual application, it consumes less or more tokens when active. Whenever not in use, the corresponding tokens become available again to run other applications. Users can swap between applications on the fly and explore new ways of working at will. The story becomes even more interesting when combining two users, each with their own desktop and set of tokens. Just imagine that a worker is confronted with the maximum token limit. By having a joint token pool, the limitation is automatically lifted, as he or she is able to claim unused tokens from a colleague. In this context, it's also perfectly possible for users to use the same application simultaneously, as long as the token maximum is not reached. Now, just imagine the possibilities of a corporate setup. In many cases, the total investment is smaller compared to acquiring isolated licenses, yet the flexibility dramatically increases, regardless of whether the modules are used daily or occasionally. By combining all tokens, this approach also effectively deals with peak workload requirements. Another typical corporate pain is a shift in focus over time to use a certain application to address certain issues, leaving the old way of working for what it was. Without value-based licensing, this could lead to idling licenses, whereas now the tokens can seamlessly be applied to support the new methodology. Last but not least, most new product features and functionalities automatically become available to all users so that they can check out the extra value they bring without any budget increase. In short, SimCenter 3D value-based licensing offers a truly flexible, cost-effective, simple-to-scale approach that reduces risk over time and encourages users to maximally explore new possibilities. Thank you.
All right, so hopefully that that audio came across fine, but I thought it was a very good video that showed an interesting graphical way on how this new token system works. So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Andrea to wrap up.
Awesome, thanks Dan, great job. I just want to let everyone know that our next CES session will be on NXCam Tips and Tricks with Mark Anderson. And that will be on September 7th. And if that's not already on our website, we'll have that up soon. We'll be posting it to social media as well. And if you are ready to take it to the next level, we do offer these, free online trainings a couple times a month. But I just wanted to make sure everyone knows we also offer hands-on training classes for all levels of users. And we also have an awesome engineering services department as well as additive manufacturing. And make sure you follow us on all of our social media accounts here, and especially on YouTube. If you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you will be notified every time that we post one of our new tips and tricks videos and all of our great webinars and sessions that we hold online. So make sure you follow us on all of those to find out about all of our upcoming events. We have lots of live events coming up in the next few months here as well, so make sure you keep an eye out for those. And if you just stick around for just a couple of minutes after the webinar, we do have a little survey. If you could just let us know how we did today. We're always looking to get better at these online sessions. So if there's anything, any feedback or anything that you can offer, that would be great. As well as if you have any suggestions for future topics, we are always open to those suggestions as well. And thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. If there's anything you need, please feel free to reach out to us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.